Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Monique Bradley, and if we haven't met before, look, it's great to have you here with me. My journey of health is something that I talk about a lot online. I've lost over 40 kilos in weight. I was pre-diabetic, I had high blood pressure, and I've completely transformed my health and my mind as well by eating really good whole foods, by eliminating processed foods, and really delving a little bit deeper into the relationship that I have with food. So my journey's lasted over 25 years and still going, and I'm finally finding a happy home within myself and my relationship with food. And that's really what I like to share every week. Little recipes that might support your health or open you up to new ideas when it comes to new ingredients. So the last couple of weeks I've been looking at how to use what we call shirataki or konjac noodles, which are truly amazing. So for those of you who are pasta lovers, check out my newsfeed, whichever page you're watching on, and have a look at some of the recipes I've done previously. Because if you're trying to change your health and you want to get rid of, say, gluten, or you want to get rid of wheat pasta, shirataki or konjac noodles are a great way to start. They're loaded with fiber and they give you that kind of pasta kind of vibe without having all of that gluten in there and all that wheat that can really upset our bowel. So where I'm coming from tonight, so this is my website, by the way, moniquebradley.tv. You can head there, you can see a little bit about my journey, how I've transformed my health, and some of the recipes that I actually eat every day to live a happier, healthier lifestyle. And tonight's recipe is designed to help you add more protein, more fiber, a heap more selenium, good fats in there. I'm just looking at my ingredients. We've adding phosphorus, vitamin B, copper, magnesium, selenium, a whole heap of antioxidants, which are really going to support your cells and help you feel and look healthier. And this is a slow burning recipe. So how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by adding in a whole heap of goodness from these nuts. I have to find where my camera is. From these amazing nuts, which are loaded with so much goodness with us. Tonight we're using walnuts. I've got almonds in here. I've got some cashews in there as well. A really good mix, but I'm going to add some seeds. We've got some hazelnuts in here too. I'm going to add some seeds into the mix, and the reason why is that for a lot of people who change their diet, one of the things they do is they often cut out a lot of protein, so a lot of meat and things like that. So how else are you going to get your protein? Well, sometimes if you're going to add a little bit more dairy or you're going to add a little more eggs or something like that, you can increase your protein amount. But you can also add protein by combining essential amino acids through food combinations. So for example, if you were going to eat a really good grainy bread, just an example. Now, I don't eat bread, but if you do, if you load that good whole grain bread with some peanut butter as an example, you're actually combining a grain and a legume. And the amino acids from both ingredients actually combine together to create protein. So tonight, I'm mixing a number of different nuts here. As you can see, I'm going to use 1.5 cups of nuts into my mix with chia seeds and sunflower seeds. So, I mean, that's a really good looking combination there with those chia seeds and the sunflower seed, pumpkin seeds actually tonight, to create really tasty, wholesome, nutritious, satisfying, decadent breakfast bars that are unlike your bliss balls, if you've ever had bliss balls, because we're actually gonna, I should pour it properly, we're actually gonna cook them in the oven. So we're gonna add an egg to the mix as well. So I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of nuts and seeds, actually. So we'll put in a little bit more there. I'm gonna top that up with a few more nuts there. And we're going to have a really delicious tasting breakfast bar, but the best part is it's going to save you time in the morning. If you can't think about what to have, one of these bars works out at about 190 calories. So it's a good little snacky supplement in the morning when you're running out the door, but it is loaded with goodness, so you don't have to feel too icky about things. So I'm going to blitz that very, very shortly. In the meantime, how are we going to bind our bars together? Such a good question. Well, we're mixing nuts and seeds tonight, so we're going to add in some legumes. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of my absolutely favorite peanut butter. Pix peanut butter is the best. What is it made from? Peanuts. Yep, that's pretty much it. It is one of the best products on the market. By the way, I don't get paid to say that. Though Pix peanut butter, if you guys are watching tonight, we should probably talk. Love that product. Absolutely delicious. We're going to add into the mix. While this is still quite high in fat, we want a little bit of fat also to bind this together with an egg. So I'm going to add in here too, because we want this really yummy tasting. So if you've ever made bliss balls, coconut oil is one of the key ingredients often in bliss balls. So we're actually going to pop some coconut oil in there. Who's on there tonight? Oh, hi Karen King. Hi Leanne Coombs. Good to see you guys. David Pierce, good to see you. Oh, there's a few of you guys watching tonight. Good to see you all. These are yummy and tasty. By the way, if you like this recipe, well, if you make it and you try it and you like it, please let me know, because I love to hear from you guys when you make my recipes and you go, oh, they are really that good. Because the recipes, I wouldn't eat if it wasn't going to be tasty to start with, because I don't want to waste the calories. But at the same time, you know, I don't have the definitive taste buds. I want to know if you guys like my recipes as much as I do. And if you do like it, share it, because that's what it's all about. I want to help as many people as possible. Now I'm putting that into the microwave for about 40 seconds. And what I want to do is I actually want to turn that into a bit of a liquid. I'm then going to add my blitzed nuts into there. Now, if you're blitzing nuts like this, if I kept that on blitz, it would end up turning into a nut butter. So I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I actually want all the little bits to go down to this side. And I want all the big bits to end up in the bottom, so I blitz those. So here we go. So it's really good. Just give it a couple of pumps and then give it a shake. So that's a cup and a half right there of nuts and seeds. And you can choose whatever mix you want. If you want to add some Brazil nuts, are really good and they taste really good. I love the texture of Brazil nuts too. Now, if you have a look here in the top, I'll just make sure you guys can see that. In the top here, where it's starting to get quite small, if I continued to blitz that, it would turn into that nut butter. But I want to shake that all down and mix that up through there. And I want the bigger nuts to actually end up in the bottom, so I blitz those. Now, if you end up with a couple of bits that are a little bit bigger, it does not matter, because you're going to end up slicing this once you've created the whole breakfast bar mix and it's cooked. It will be fantastic. So sometimes having a whole nut in there is actually quite delightful. So here we go. I'm going to give that one more blitz, because I can see there's a couple more big size nuts in there that I just want to blitz down a little bit. There we go. Okay, we've got the peanut butter in here with the delicious, so that's 40 seconds that took, and that has turned into an amazing, delicious, squishy liquid. Now, if you're gonna make your traditional bliss balls, you would use something like this. You might put in some cacao powder, put your nut mix in there, put in some coconut as well, roll that into balls. The reason why I don't wanna leave it just like this and why I'm going to add an egg and pop it in the oven is that I wanna add extra protein, but at the same time, with these bliss bars, you don't have to necessarily keep them in the fridge all the time. So, whereas with something like a bliss ball, you probably want to actually keep that in the freezer. So I do tend to keep them in the fridge because I like the texture of them being a little bit cooler. Okay, hi Jendi, good to see you watching tonight too. How are you going, my friend? Happy birthday for yesterday, by the way. Just pulling this out with my fingers, you know. I know you guys do that sort of thing in your kitchen, so I'm at home in my kitchen, so I'm going to do the same thing. I would normally, I should have used a knife or a spoon or something like that, but you know, I'm trying to do it fast to show you guys. So you can see there's still a few big nuts in there as well. I don't mind that at all. I'm just going to start mixing that through. What I'm also going to do now is I'm going to add, I've got 1/4 cup of chia seeds. Chia seeds are insane. They are loaded, as you can see here. These are the white ones. They come in black or they come in white. They're amazing. If you ever want to replace an egg in a recipe, if you take 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, and I think it's 2 tablespoons of water or 3 tablespoons of water, and you mix it together, you can leave it to set and it turns into this jelly, and basically you can use that as an egg replacement in a lot of recipes. Fantastic. The reason why I'm adding them is I want to amp up the protein content. Now with recipes like this, so this recipe still has some carbohydrates in there. However, when it comes to calculating the carbohydrates, what I want to do is I want to add as much protein and as much fiber as possible, because when you come to calculate the net carbs, you take the amount of carbohydrates, just to bore you guys with data, you take the amount of carbohydrates and you remove the fiber content to calculate the net carbs in a serving. If you get stuck with that, message me, happy to help you out. Okay, into the mix, an egg. So there you go, more protein in there, and we want to put that in there because we're going to bake it in the oven. It's going to set, it's going to be beautiful. Oh, grab a tea towel. Okay, now I love these. I love these, they are delicious. I'm going to add into the mix as well. So this is not a very sweet recipe. So to sweeten it up, I'm going to add, I've got about a tablespoon left of spoonable stevia. I use Natvia here. Now, this product you can use whatever you like as your sweetener. Some people would prefer to grind up some medjool dates. I can't have them, they're too high in carbs for me. So I prefer to go with stevia. Some people use something like sucralose or Splenda or maltolol, I think. Or xylitol, whatever you prefer as your sweetener. Monk fruit, powdered monk fruit. I use this because it measures out in the same way that sugar does, and because I've been a baker for, gosh, 20 or 30 years, my mum's a cooking teacher, grew up in a kitchen. This is the closest thing for me that works similarly to a little bit of sugar. So I've got about a tablespoon left in my container, so I'll just pour the whole lot, maybe a little bit more, being a bit generous there. I like it too because for those of you, oh hi Roy, good to see you. For those of you who are a little bit sensitive to sugar, this won't mess with your blood sugars at all. And because nuts, oh that bit just popped out, I'm just going to pop it back in the container, you didn't see that. Because nuts are slow burning, they are, this whole recipe is lower GI as well. So for those of you who might be a little bit sensitive or were like me and pre-diabetic or diabetic, this is pretty darn good, but loaded with goodness. Lots of omegas in here. I just learnt today, I was reading a study, and I learnt today that apparently there is more essential fatty acids, which we need for cell repair and for skin and things like that. There's more in walnuts than there is in fish. How's that then? It's pretty amazing, eh? Well, I thought that was amazing. I'm going to take a little bit, just a tiny little bit of coconut oil, put it on a handy towel there, pop this in. I just want to grease this up just purely because this doesn't have a non-stick surface, and I'm always a bit wary about non-stick surfaces anyway. Just want to grease it up slightly, and we're going to pop this in here and flatten it all out. Now this is a very sticky recipe, so I have to be very careful here. I don't want to use it in my hands, but use my hands with it because it is quite a wet mixture, and I'm quite vain, and I don't want to get all the mixture up inside my nails because it takes ages to get it back out. So I'm going to spoon it all out. And also I'm pretty much into kitchen hacks as well. So wherever I can, because I'm very lazy, wherever I can, I try to do things as simply as possible. So there's all my mixture. So you've seen that. It's not hard at all. Loaded with goodness. This is why I love this recipe. Absolutely loaded with goodness. Right, let's make a bit of magic happen right here. Oh, good one, Monique. Have to do it upside down. Let me just pull that back. Here we go. Could that be any more uncoordinated? Good one. It's all right, it's because you guys are watching me. I'm so nervous. Have you guys got any questions, by the way? Think these would be good before my 5 a.m. start. Actually, that's a really good point. This is a fantastic recipe, particularly for those of you who are heading to the gym in the morning, or you just need a little bit of a prop up. By the way, they do taste amazing. Really good with a coffee or a cup of tea. Really good to have on hand, particularly, you know, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you get a little bit snacky s'more-ish and you're craving chocolate. This is a really good alternative that won't mess with your blood sugar. If you've got kids too who are they don't have nut allergies, look, kids really like these because we're actually going to add a little bit of chocolate to it as well, but not chocolate that's going to make them go crazy. So this is a really nice, again, low GI, long sustained energy snack. And this is going to make 12 breakfast bars. So, and each breakfast bar is around 190 calories. So this in a nice coffee makes, or you can have half a bar for an afternoon snack as an example, just delicious. But I love the science behind it, the fact that we're mixing nuts and seeds together and really amping up the protein content there because of the combination, because we're combining the essential amino acids from all of these ingredients. We're actually creating something quite magical. I think it's incredible. Okay, that's looking really good. Now this is going to go into the oven. I cook everything on 200 degrees in the oven, 200 degrees on fan bake. It's just what I do. That's what I learned from my mum growing up in the kitchen, you see. So 200 degrees, and these will be done in about 15 minutes. Ta-da! Look at that, isn't she beautiful? I'm going to pop that in straight away. And just like television, here's one I prepared earlier. So you'll notice there might be a little hole in it just down here. It's because one of the nuts fell out and I just had to taste it because that's what you do. Okay, what kind of chocolate am I going to use? A great question. There's quite a few questions coming through. The chocolate that I'm actually using tonight, so I've got just over a quarter of a cup. These are chocolate bits. These are made by Healtheries. Why I love them is that they're sweetened with stevia. So it's basically similar to using a really good quality, say 78% dark chocolate, which doesn't have a lot of sweetness in it. It's lower GI. I really like milk chocolate. I'm a fan of milk chocolate. So these chocolate bits are in the organic section in your supermarket. So you can find them, a bag I think on special at the moment is around $5. They're quite addictive, just to let you know. That's all that's left out of the bag. I ate most of them. Yeah, I'm a fan. So yeah, a scant quarter of a cup there. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the coconut oil. Coconut oil has, wow, so many great properties. For a while, there was a massive trend of people using it on their teeth, doing oil pulling to remove bacteria from the gum line. There's just, look, there's so many studies about it. When I worked as a host of the TV shopping channel Yes Shop, I actually worked with a company that was producing a really good quality coconut oil. And the reason why this woman got into the business was because she had irritable bowel syndrome and had really bad digestive upsets. And she'd read some study, she was in Bali, and she'd read some study that coconut oil was really good for your digestion. So she just started adding a teaspoon to her diet every day, and all of her symptoms started to disappear. And she thought, oh, I wonder if this is just me, is it my mind working overtime? But no, there was a lot of studies done around it, and she ended up creating this beautiful coconut oil company, and they made great, bars and all sorts of things. Fantastic. And there's so many health benefits as well. So, but remember too, when you're going to eat something like this, you've still got to remember, it's not just because it might be low carb or it might be whatever meal plan you follow. You've still got to understand that the way to sustained weight loss or to a healthier lifestyle is it is calories in versus calories out. So just because I say to you there's lots of goodness in this doesn't mean you can eat the entire tray, because there's 12 bars here all around 190 calories each. You don't want to sit down and eat the whole lot, though it is delicious, I will warn you. Okay, so popping that in the microwave. Going to mix that through. So that's starting to mix through there. I just want to mix that down, microwave that down for another 20 seconds. Just so we can really get that rolling. I've just been learning recently about microwaves. I love them. I use them all the time. I'm amazed that the reason why it all happens is because of the magic all happens in a microwave because of the fat content, sugar content, or water content in a product. So if you put something in there that's really, really dry, it ain't going to be affected by the microwaves. It's pretty incredible. Right. There we go. So we've got fat content, we've got sugar content from stevia, and I'm going to mix that through. Hi, Jude Park. Good to see you. Would love a written version of this, please. Well, funny you should say that. Funny you should say that, Jude Park. My producer is going to put my website up on the screen. It is right there on the front page, Jude, of my website, moniquebradley.tv. On the website, there's a whole bunch of recipes on there, but this is right on the front so that you can try it for yourself. There you go. Look at that. It's like just like television, isn't it? So that recipe is already there. Give it a whirl. You'll make 12 bars. So there you go. 12 pieces of deliciousness. So you'll notice I just added some cocoa. You can add cacao to this. So when it comes out, it's a pretty weird consistency, I find. So the chocolate and the oil kind of separate a little bit. So I want to mix it together and make it all yummy. And to thicken it up slightly, depending on how thick you want it, of course, to thicken it up, I've actually added in about 2 tablespoons of cocoa. You could add in cacao if you really want to amp up the antioxidants there. And then what am I going to do to it all? Just this. Just kind of spread it all over and devour it once it's all done. So it really is that simple. What I do after this, oh, I have to try that. Oh, amazing. I'll grab my rubber scraper again. What you want to do is spread that all over. If you make it a bit thicker, so if you added in a little bit more cocoa, it would thicken up slightly, and then you can do more of a drizzle. But because mine's a little bit runnier, I'm going to spread it all out, and then I'm going to pop it in the fridge, chill it all down, and once it's all chilled, I'll chop it into bars. And that is pretty much the recipe. What do you guys think? Oh, I've just seen here 7 new comments. Let me just have a look. Hello, hello. Oh, James Kingsland. Oh, James, come over and try it, honey. Tell you what, you're the low carb queen. You are, James. Just saying. Who else? Hi, everybody who's watching tonight. There's so many of you guys. That's fantastic. So there you go. This is delicious and low carby, chocolatey goodness. Now, it's not overly sweet. So when you add that cocoa powder to this, it really does give it that kind of slightly more of a dark chocolate kind of vibe. But I just think it is decadent and lovely. And to know that this is low carb, so it's not going to mess with my blood sugars. And if I do have, because I do have occasional cravings for yummy goodness, I never really fall off the wagon as such, because for me, low carb isn't really a diet. It's a way of life now that I know I'm carbohydrate pretty much intolerant. Eating food like this, eating lots of plant, eating good proteins, eating good fats is just my normal now. So I don't really ever crave bread or pasta or anything like that. But to know that on the odd occasion when I am feeling a bit precious and need a little bit of comfort food, I can have something like this and still stay on track. And that really is the key to any healthy eating plan. If you can find the foods that taste delicious, that taste decadent, that still support your health goals. I should turn it that way because it's not as pretty that way. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. If you can find those foods, then you'll never ever feel like you're on a diet. So that's what I urge you guys to do this week. Try things like, one of my favorite dishes is to get a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes, pop them into a pan with a little bit of olive oil, fry them up, chop them in half, add a little bit of Worcester sauce. Oh, decadent and delicious, loaded with antioxidants. If you pair it up with a little bit of avocado, those are what we call enzyme cofactor partners or companion ingredients. So they work really well to help your health. Things like that, which taste amazing, but serve your health. My belief is that we should make every mouthful count. Don't waste your time on empty calories that don't support your health. Find the foods that support your health and make you look and feel amazing. Karen, oh, thank you, Karen. How much weight did you lose and how long did it take? How many carbs per day do I eat? What do you recommend if you stall for 3 weeks? The way I see it is, this isn't a diet, Karen. This is a way of life. All you need to do to make this work for you is eat plant, protein, and fat. In here, we've got plant, we've got protein, and we've got some fats. So this for me is an okay food on my list. I know that per day I would eat less than 50 grams of carbohydrates. The bulk of the carbohydrates I get are actually from a little bit from nuts and mostly from vegetables. I don't eat a lot of fruit. I have lost over 40 kilos in weight. When I first started on this journey, which was 25 years ago, I can't believe it, I actually lost over 70 kilos in weight, but I got very, very skinny and I got very, very ill with that. So now where I am in midlife, where like most of us, my waistline is wanting to spread and my hips are wanting to spread more as well, which is really common around this time of life. I'm able to control my health, most importantly, by controlling the foods that I eat. And I think when we really focus on the health benefits of what we eat, the other issues like the weight, that's not a problem. Your body starts to function more optimally. Your health is better. You want to get out and go for a walk. You want to exercise. Your moods are better. And your body starts to work in the way that it's designed to do. Your body's just a machine. It's like a car. It's a high performance engine. If you put crap oil and you put diesel into it instead of really good quality petrol, you know what's going to happen. It won't function properly, and our bodies are exactly the same. Have more water, have good quality foods, eat more vegetables. That is absolutely the secret to good life and good health. So there you go. I'll hop off my soapbox now. Just notice there's more comments here. Awesome. This is great, you guys. It's so nice to have you here with me. Hi, Rhonda Hickey as well. So many people on tonight's live stream. It's great to have you guys here. Now, if you do have any questions at all, please feel, hi Gary and Tracy, good to see you guys as well. Hi Auntie Sandra, watching down in Blenheim, love you. If you do have any questions, feel free to message me via the Facebook page that you're watching on. And remember, as always, you can head to my website, details below. And on that website are recipes. There's some really cool blog articles that I've written, including things that we don't think about that might be halting our progress when it comes to weight loss. So things like the plastic bottles that you drink from, the environment that you subject yourself to, all of these things can really affect our health and our weight. It can lead to stress eating. With plastic, don't get me started on plastic, but plastic, particularly if it contains BPAs, I'm just going to chop a little bit off to taste it. If it contains BPAs are what we call endocrine disruptors. And an endocrine disruptor messes with your hormones. We all know what happens when our hormones are out of whack. That's one of the things that can lead to weight gain. So, it's about knowing things like that. It's about knowing the effects of drinking more water. Can smell affect your health and well-being? Absolutely. Can the skincare that you use affect your weight? Absolutely. You should never use a product that's got any bleaches in it to make your skin whiter and brighter, because they end up going through your skin, which is porous, and affecting your liver, which is part of the whole weight loss game as well. So all of these things are things I've learned over the last 25 years of my weight loss journey, and now I'm really excited and really honored to be able to share that with you guys. And if I can help, send me a message. Time for me to head away because I can hear the slice calling my name. Try it. Let me know what you think. Send me a message. Hi Gina, great to see you as well. And remember, as always, look after your body and choose what you eat, because when you control your ingredients, you hold your health in your hands. I've got to head away. I'm Monique Bradley. Thanks to Pete, who's my producer and director tonight. Stay fabulous. Love you guys. Bye. Right, I'm going to try this.